Hey, can I say something kind of self-indulgent? Just to add to something that you said before I came out. You said this thing, and you're not on Twitter anymore. You said this thing, I'm not going to quote you right, so forgive me. But you said something else, I don't feel like making people laugh. I'm down more than I'm up.
Yeah.
And, you know, man, and this is really cheesy. Maybe somebody could play the national anthem while I say this, but I feel like the moment people like you and you start getting like that, then if there really was some kind of nefarious cabal of evil people who wanted to destroy art on planet Earth by making artists feel completely hopeless, then the moment you guys are like, I'm not going to go on Twitter anymore, I'm not going to do this shit anymore, they fucking win. They're really winning then. And then the thing that you guys put out into the universe gets thwarted by what? Some fucking what? Like, really?
Well,
that's depressing to me.
That's part of the bummer of walking away from it, and it's also part of the hook that keeps you there. But the nice different split is just begin off the white and like go away, evolve, come back. Like I'm not gonna. Yeah, I didn't delete my account.
Twitter doesn't have to be a factor in it. Like the beauty of being on tour, I was on the road for the last couple of weeks, is that when you wake up in a bad mood and you turn on the news and it's just like it's shocking and it goes against everything that you believe in. It's just like just simple things like his ties and his fucking like the misuse of the English language and like all that shit. Like forget about the hatred of women and people of color and fucking every fucking other thing. The great news is that we have to like stay like focused enough to go on stage and still be funny, and then the fact that we get to go do that is awesome. And because when we're on stage, that's the easiest part of the day, like, and to go out there and just tell a dick joke. It's make the world happy.
Sure. Yeah.
No. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Like we can't just all descend into sadness and darkness and.
No, you have to double fight. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, not only do you have to like not descend into sadness and darkness, you have to like triple activate. Like the whole point is like to go the opposite direction, even though it is bleak and horrible. I mean, it always seems like God forgive me, man, but because there's no job of a comedian or job of anybody else or job of comedy or any of that bullshit. But just from a, basic, like, when the darkness grows, then that's when you're really supposed to be shining the light. Praise God. And if you're not fucking doing that, then what are you doing?
Exactly, I agree. But the thing about like now, like if you're going to be a comedian, and the thing like comedians should stick to comedy and leave politics to the experts. Well, there are no fucking experts. Like politicians should stick to politics and not do comedy. But when you go on stage and you tell a joke that's really funny, like we were in Indianapolis, you can talk shit about Mike Pence because they hate him in Indianapolis. You go outside of Indianapolis, it's a red state. They love him there. But you can hammer on fucking Mike Pence in Indianapolis. But the thing is, when you tell a really, let's say it's not even a political joke, you just mention him or say something, stupid, the people don't feel comfortable laughing about anything political. And I was like, I know that like no one wants to hear Dan and I or our guests or Spencer like us talk politics about Trump. We don't have anything new to say. It's just us grousing about the same old shit. But when you do a show like we go out and do improv and do comedy, you can tell some neutral joke and mention Donald Trump or mention Nancy DeVos or mention whoever. People that might have laughed don't know who they're sitting next to, and they don't know if the person next to them is going to be really into that or not into that or whatever. So just everyone is just kind of neutralized, and things don't get to be as funny because no one knows if their parents are going to be pissed off or the neighbor is sitting next to them or whatever. Like comedy, you either have to be not talking about politics at all and be hilarious, or be Lenny Bruce and be punk rock and George Carlin and shit and like fucking be so active. Be
a comedian.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the idea. It's like, fuck it. The idea is like, okay, fine. My instincts are telling me this is funny. And I'm in some stupid time period where people are incredibly confused. Okay, fine. Well, still, blast it out there, man. Blast it out there, because the moment any of us stop blasting it out there, then if they're then they win.
Right, but they win if you keep blasting and you in my opinion, at least this goes for me. There's people out there that are good at being angry, and we want them to be angry. But I like if I've lost my humor, then what am I going to fall back on? My political science degree? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Look what Jimmy Kimmel just did.
Jimmy Kimmel. What he did is he either he fucking researched, and it was like that's my point. Like it was like that's why I'm like I need to fucking step out of this, professional wrestling ring. Stop running around with a folding chair that looks identical to everyone else's, and just being part of the general melee. Because part of what the enemy wants you to think is that life sucks and that it's chaotic and stupid and all that stuff. So that is why when Lauren Duca tweets, when my heroes on Twitter right now, they're the people that are they have this insight, but then they're also they have this grace and then you go oh, that's an advertisement for being on the good guy's side, because it's not that this stuff isn't important and shouldn't make you angry. It's that if you're a billboard, you can't be a billboard dripping with shit, because then everyone's well, I don't want to buy that razor. It's covered in shit. That person's not happy. That person keeps telling me. People give me advice all the time. For 40 years, the reason why I haven't quit drinking yet is because everyone that's ever asserted it with any degree of assertion is they're miserable. And it's always a deal breaker. I'm look, man, come up to me. Chris Hardwick's the biggest billboard for sobriety I've ever encountered. He's genuinely a happy seeming guy, but behind his eyes, I think maybe he goes home and does stuff to
there's fucking.
But that's none of my business.
I've been to his place. I've been to his place, and there's Target bags fucking everywhere.
But he.
I'm just saying. I don't know what's in those bags.
But he's the most pleasant. Anyway, I'm just saying. When if you're telling people to lighten up, or if you're telling people to, you really ought to know your facts. Whenever you're telling somebody else what to do, holy shit, you better be happier than them.
Well, yeah. But with comedy, man, the thing I always love about it is not so much it's ethical compass or moral compass. What I love about it is the way it warps reality. And I love the way that with comedy and a really great comedians, what they do is, regardless of anything other than just this, and now this is not to say this is how we should act. Comedians should only be funny, or comedians should not be funny now, or whatever. I'm just saying, the moment you encounter great art, whether it's comedy or a painting or a movie, you feel hope. Because you're humans are fucking cool. That's amazing. And when you start watching comedians warp what's happening right now in any kind of way at all that's successful, no matter how lofty or how mundane, I think it adds to the sum total of joy in the world. And the more joy there is in the world, I just got back from Burning Man. The more joy there is in the world, the more chance we have to make sure that we don't do this again. And that's why it's important to fucking fight. Thank you.
I said Nancy DeVos. I meant Betsy DeVos.
I'm still wondering if it's Lauren Duca, because the last time half the time I say Lauren DeLuca. I don't think we're disagreeing on any important points, right? Where you're saying it's important to be. You're saying it's important to be for entertainers. That word seems cringeworthy. But they become important. I mean, this Kimmel thing. The fact that I'm not on Twitter and I heard about the Kimmel thing is why Jimmy Kimmel did a good thing. It raises all this awareness. It's it's particularly great that it wasn't just some quip. It was also on top of it, he was passionate and in a funny way, is making this part of the sideshow, now front and center. That's why it's so important. I agree with all that, and that's exactly why I'm just sitting there talking. I'm just arguing with fucking Nazis and going I block you. I'm gonna block you.
I can't believe over the last couple of days I started to like Kim Jong-un, the NFL, and Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, it's the apocalypse, baby.
When did quarterbacks become agitators? It's fucking amazing.
It's glorious.
That's fucked up.
It's glorious.
I can't believe it turns out James Woods, when he played Roy Cohn, apparently was doing it because he thought he was a cool guy. I didn't know James Woods was a fucking monster. Holy shit. I mean, I always think of like guys play monsters when you're like casting a monster. Like, we need a monster. Let's get that guy. It's not like an actual monster that shows up and goes like, yeah, monster performance. Here we go. You need to do this cocaine. You need to do this cocaine. Cut, Jimmy. Great. Oh wow, you're amazing. I'm conditioned by Hollywood to expect that guy to be like to act like Tom Hanks as soon as they call cut. You know, like, where's a baby? Let me kiss it.
No.
But he's just like fucking slime in a human-shaped cup.
Yeah, what you're saying, I think what we're all saying is like you can't just be a comedian and go out and tell jokes and have fun now. You have to do two things at once now. You have to be like doing squats and push-ups at the same time. Like you have to still be fighting for what you believe in, which is not always going to be funny, and then you still have to smile and help other people laugh and do that.
It just depends on where you land, man, because it's like some of us believe that like God damn it, what do they say in Game of Thrones? Chaos is a ladder. What do they say? Is that the word?
Chaos
but some
is
of
a
us,
ladder.
some people just believe that it's like, yes, if you can art, whatever. What I always loved about comedians is that comedians get to do whatever they want. That means that if you want to be completely shallow, have nothing to do with politics, and just blurt out some ridiculous thing, you can do that. It's okay. Also, if you feel like you have some heady thing to say that has no punchline, you can say that too. Yeah. You're a fucking comedian. You represent the part of the human spirit that is unconquerable by the gods, which means that you are ultimately free. You can do whatever you want, no matter who the president is or who the president isn't. So no comedian has a moral obligation. No comedian doesn't have a moral obligation. But anytime a comedian successfully pulls off real comedy, they're bending space, if you ask me. And that bending of space and time and the paradigm and the gestalt and the archetypes is a fucking miracle. And whenever it happens, people are like, holy shit, this is a pretty good universe. Hurricanes, earthquakes, and all. And that makes people feel a little more excited about being alive. And that means that my friend's couch won't end up with a fucking rotting corpse on it. Somebody sucking back nitrous oxide.
I feel like we're only a couple years away from when art and politics beautifully merge, when we have Senator Kid Rock. Fuck, that's really, because that's where.
Can't wait.
That's where I get back on board.
We're great. People are great. We don't need them. That's the main thing. We don't need them. We're fine. We're going to be fine no matter what. This is fucking Harmontown. We're fine. This was supposed to be a cult. What happened? We're going to be fucking fine.
Well, we proved it last week. Dan told everyone to go fuck themselves, and they're still here.
That's exactly what a cult leader does. Come on.
Next week, I start revealing that I somehow need to sow the seeds of the.
Let's do it.
And according to the book of whatever I'm reading, it just shakes out that the age of the girl has to be okay.
What if
like David Koresh was like,
underage
10 years from now, because now that we're on like live stream and stuff like that, the shots of the audience, you just start noticing that everyone starts wearing the same color.
Do it.
We're all wearing white outfits all of a sudden.
Let's do it. Let's all wear white outfits and do nitrous oxide and move to the next level of this show.
Let's build like we'll do a big art installation, and we'll build the world's biggest van. And we'll all get in that van. We'll all just start doing nitrous together.
I mean, I'm glad it all happened. Like, I'm a big piece of shit and a fucking blowhard.
No, you're not.
I've been wrong about everything, and it's good to start there. It's like a second childhood now. I'm like, oh man, I didn't know what any of that shit meant, and it's good because like also another side of that thing that you're talking about, where comedians are like. It's good that comedians were basically like, after the election, they were like, look, man, I can't. What do you mean get back to work? Get back to work doing what? What I was doing before was, but then as they're explaining that and having to defend themselves, I can't. For me, it was like there was this valve in my head where I was like, wait, what's the rest of that sentence? It's like, because you need to acknowledge that what you're really saying is that you were kind of happy with the way society was before. You did a lot of fucking complaining. You constantly acted like you were above everything, and because that was like an easier way to, like, I don't know, it was just easier in general. It was easier to live that way, easier to be funny, and so now that's another good reason why this happened, because I think comics are like, well, wait, my flow chart, it wasn't I woke up in the morning and looked at a newspaper, then put it out of my head and put my clown shoes on. My whole thing was that I lived in the world that we were living in together, and also was entertaining you and was able to say whatever I wanted. Don't tell me to get back to work and ignore what's going on. But there is like that interesting part. It's like, because you weren't talking about politics before. Not that you should have, but it's like interesting then to retroactively go like, oh, geez, I guess I liked my bipartisan fucking technocracy. I liked my oligarchy. I liked my thinly veiled or thickly veiled fascism. I liked my right of center.
Well, I'm glad you admit that.
First world empire, where my toilet paper was soft because somehow indirectly it was softened with Arab blood. Like it was oh man, this feels so extra good.
It's never been proven. It's never been proven.
Somehow there's a way to prove it.
I'm sure there was a time when British colonialists here were like, this is great. We're paying a lot of taxes. This is okay.
Oh man, can you imagine the fucking like arguments back then? Because it's like you were committing treason for real if you were patriotic. You were a terrorist.
But you realize, like, it's like, okay, so you and I are the same age, which means that we have lived for our entire lives without the fear of the draft. So we've lived our entire lives with these kind of like outrageous American wars that happen. American wars are really interesting because in most other places when there's a war, it's like an actual bar fight. You hit the person, they hit you back. An American war, we hit the person, they don't hit us back. And when they do hit us back, if they don't hit us back in a way that we've deemed the right way to hit us back, then we call them terrorists. So that's an American war. So we've been living in a time period where every single city that we've lived in, thank God, has not been bombed. I guarantee you don't know what a bomb smells like. I sure as fuck don't.
Don't fucking high road me.
I'm gonna high road you, bitch!
I grew up in Milwaukee. That's like the Belfast of Wisconsin.
Okay, you know what a bomb smells like?
You know what an M80 is? My friend Tony Schumacher almost took his thumb off.
Just imagine a lot of M80s. That's what a bomb smells like. Well, you also probably don't know what it smells like. No, none of us know, thank God. Many of us don't know. I hope most of us, all of us don't know what it smells like when a bunch of people are on fire together. We don't know that. And that's an American war. We set people on fire. We blow them up. We disintegrate them. We're doing it for a very, very long time. So now, what's happening is that shit's getting weird for us. And we don't want it to be weird because we don't want to get pushed into actual action.
Yeah, exactly.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But guess what? You've got to fucking do it, man. It doesn't... You got to. You have to.
I'm old. I was almost retired.
So was George Washington.
He was a soldier. When he was young, he couldn't tell a lie. I can tell them. I still have my teeth. I could just slip at almost 45. It's like a right age to just shut up and sneak away with your Trey Parker money and just fucking just make your cartoon, maybe write a Broadway play, man.
You're not going to do that with your money, man. You're going to use that money for better things. And you're going to use that money first of all to shelter all of us in some kind of beautiful compound
I have
somewhere.
$30,000 in my checking account. That is not a lie. I have spent all of my money on my shitty cartoon studio. But I'm probably going to be a millionaire in a couple of weeks because
He looked at his watch. He looked at his fucking Apple iWatch. Because
he has the stocks app. Come on.
In your calendar?
Yeah, my Tesla stock's going up. I don't have a car, but I invested in Tesla.
Give him some credit.
Cody's still got the Tesla stock. Or I should wait. Is that illegal to tell? No, that's not insider trading. I don't work at Tesla. I don't know. It's like, Cody's got Tesla stock, and she's like because it keeps going up. But she's like it's weird when you have a stock that is like in something like you hear all these whatever. That's not an interesting topic. 3. I don't. What the fuck?
Also, you guys. Cody really likes Blue Bonnet at Santa Anita in the second race. This Saturday. Blue Bonnet. I got the horse right here. Her name is Paul Revere. Sorry.
Wait, what were we talking about? Fuck, I'm sorry.
Guys and dolls.
I derailed
Fucking
this.
revolution, baby. We're talking about revolution. We're talking about the idea that at some point in history, whether you like it or not, things change. This is like, it's no point in being ahistoric. If you look at history itself, inevitably, Black Plagues, World War IIs, World War Is, Vietnams, things happen. Shit changes. And when shit changes, then it's up to us, the people, to do something about it and to not be so decimated by the reality of history, which is that sometimes bad people get into office and do rotten fucking things, and our job is not to pay attention to whatever the current laws of the land are. Our job is to get a fucking catering license and to buy fucking as much nitrous oxide as we can, man. We gotta do it!
And I would also add, if you're still at this late date using toilet paper with Arab blood in it, stop doing that. You know, just get regular toilet paper. It doesn't really affect the wipe. It just irritates our allies and our enemies abroad.
I mean, thank you. It's good of you to. This is a good time to get this boost. I mean, it's just all it is. It's like you're running a marathon. Like we're very lucky, and realizing that we're lucky is exhausting. That's how lucky we are. It's strenuous realizing how lucky we are. That's like hard work. Right. It's like when I do a little dance when I rap, and then I'm like 2 days later I'm like out of breath, and my doctor's like, "What have you done?" It's like you got to start somewhere, and somewhere is like holy shit, my whole. But it's like, and that's what it is. It's like it's almost been a year, and it's like we're like not everybody's hitting exhaustion points at the same time. I just like it's like I'm just pulling in. I pulled into the Twitter pit stop thing and was like, I'm doing something wrong out there. Like I'm not really doing anything to change. I'm getting angry, and I'm like, for all I know, on some chart somewhere, I'm like actually helping the bad guy because I'm just sort of like driving really angry and like screaming around. But it doesn't hurt that much to pull over for a second and go like, okay, why am I out there? What am I doing? Change the tires. Go back out there with a fucking monster car. You know, like some crazy monster mobile or something that's like you assembled because you like thought about it for a second, right? And that no promises there. I'll probably just go back and promote Rick and Morty, but hey, I mean,
that's fine too.
If a guy like me gets really rich, I can always be one of those like Casablanca guys that's like funding stuff under the table or something.
Lots of people do that, man. Like
like this venue could be like some kind of like
Rick's Cafe.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could just be like, come on, I don't do nothing. You leave me alone, you Nazi goofs.
Well,
and then like a comic goes up and goes like, fuck, I don't think you should burn people because they're not white. And then they're like, what? How do you explain this observation comedy? Hey, Reggie Watts does what he's gonna do. He's just.
That's hilarious.
He thinks off the top of his head. Guys, do you think they give me a script bebeforehand? Why don't you have a gin and tonic?
Pardon me, Mr. Harmon. I find your impression of Humphrey Bogart a little too New York Jew.
I kind of sound like that Nazi from the Vice video. Like, man, the Jews, I got the Jews. Except for a son-in-law and a Jew, I got the Jews and the blacks. Like, what was that guy doing? He sounded like Bob Hope. All right, sorry, what were you?
I was going to say that you guys know Dr. Bronner's soap, right?
Yeah.
So, what's really cool about them... It's
made of Arabs.
Dr. Bronner's soap?
The soap.
Yeah.
Dr. Bronner's soap?
The shit they sell at, like...
The soap that has like a political treatise written on the back of it.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about this, but continue.
It's fascinating. The story's fascinating. So, like, Dr. Bronner, Emanuel Bronner, his entire family died in the Holocaust. And he came to the United States, and he like had this like vision, basically. He had this like message that he wanted to send, and he was like writing, I guess, little pamphlets that he was trying to give to people. But he was also making soap, and everybody wanted the soap, but nobody wanted the fucking pamphlet with the weird shit written on it. So he realized, I'll just put the fucking the things that I'm saying on the
It's awesome.
on the soap. It's pretty awesome. So what's interesting about that family, the Bronner's family, is they put salary caps on themselves. And then they give everything over that salary cap.
All right, I don't like where this is going.
Where?
I have $30,000 in my checking account. I'm 44 years old.
So you're saying that you're getting like $30,000? That's where you're at.
I'm saying when there's $1 million in that account, I'm not going to put a cap on it yet. I want to see if it can be just for a second.
But you could. The point is, like, the moment you do start like figuring out ways to like harness money energy and not using it just for yourself, you can start doing shit. Like what they do is they give money to like psychedelic therapy. They've given, I think, over $1 million to the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies just to work on MDMA with PTSD. And they give money to all kinds of groups like that. So the point is, like, one form of being revolutionary is actually using your talent to get a bunch of dough, and then instead of keeping that money, giving that money to implicitly subversive organizations that are going to like transform society in their own way. That's how you really would start creating cool ripples, you know?
There's also...
Give your money away, you pig! Tell him to give his money away, people! Take it from him! I'll tweet his address. You can go to his house.
He just told us in a week he's going to be a millionaire. So fucking
can I be one for a week then after that? Do you know how long I've been waiting?
You have 19 TV shows. How do you have $30,000?
I'm paying for all of them. What do you think? You think when you go pitch a show and they say we'll take it, they give you money? They take money. You have to go develop the show now. It's a fucked up business, man. I did a really dumb thing opening a studio. It's like opening a restaurant. It's just like wait, what are you what are you doing? You don't see any other restaurants around here? What are you trying to be, Sony? You fucking moron. They owe people money. They're Sony. The studios report a loss every year. But along the way, I've hooked up with some cool people. Not hooked up in a millennial sense. I've met some cool people, and I like to think like that there will be shows now coming that I'm excited about that maybe wouldn't have existed if I didn't go put my big pumpkin on the table at TBS and go like, plus I'll be there.
Aren't you making that big Rick and Morty money? Isn't that a thing?
That's why I'm gonna be a millionaire soon.
Can I see your watch? What do you have on there?
What does it say? Even an alert?
Yeah.
It's just a pentagram.
Yeah.
Weird. Just keeps looking at a pentagram. What is that?
A minute ago it was 9/11.
All right, I was gonna say it also says 9/12. You're one of those guests that they gave the ultimate compliment to. They didn't. 9/11 came and they didn't say anything.
They kind of did.
Oh, okay.
We were making noise at the time.
What kind of noise?
General cheers.
Oh. General cheers.
Right.
Corporal
General
Big Bang Theory.
Cheers, reporting for duty.